What's going on, guys? My name is Alan, and in today's video we're going to be demonstrating the barbell glute bridge. So really important thing to consider here is that we're actually going to be doing this on a Smith. Now, my preferred cup of tea on this movement is going to be the Smith, just because I feel like I can control the weight more. But if you don't have a Smith, that's fine. You can do it with a normal barbell, totally acceptable. That's fine too. If you wanted to even switch that out with a dumbbell, you could. You wouldn't be able to go as heavier, but sometimes you need to make substitutions if you need to, okay? It could be a busy gym, whatever the scenario is, that's a fine substitution as well. But there's a couple points here that I want to talk about before we even get started here. So the first thing is these pads, okay? You're always going to want to try and find something like this if you really don't want to order one of these, or your gym doesn't have one, or the weight's too heavy for you so it's hurting your hips. You can always use a yoga mat. Now, a yoga mat is great because what you'll basically do is wrap this around the bar, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and do this all in one go here. I just wanna make sure that you guys understand how to go ahead and make this work. So all you're really gonna do here is you're gonna go ahead, stretch it out like a red carpet here, make sure that it's centered, and you're just gonna slowly roll it up. Now, this may sound and look very tedious here, but I promise you it'll make a world of a difference. If you put anything more than 3 plates on each side here, the comfort that you'll feel is tremendously different, okay? So Austin's gonna go ahead and start by demonstrating this movement here. And the other thing that we wanna consider is the type of cushion that you're using in the back. Most people, you'll wanna use a bench, okay? In this gym, we have access to these big tires, so that's why we're using them. But you do not need to find a random tire to do this on, okay? You can use a normal bench, and that's gonna provide you with a good solid height to be able to get good range of motion on this movement, okay? So Austin's gonna go ahead and set his feet. And his feet, looking from the side here, we wanna create a 90-degree angle between the hamstring and the calf, okay? That's gonna be the range of motion that we wanna work in. Or that's gonna be the angle of the knee that we're gonna wanna stay in, okay? So one thing that you'll notice about Austin starting off is that his knee, or his chin, is actually bent, and it's bent forward, okay? He's not staring up at the ceiling. He's not having his head tilted back like that. He's keeping his head in this position at all times, above and below the movement, okay? So when he's doing this exercise right here, he's gonna start off by going down on the full range of motion, okay? And then at the very top of this movement, he is actually, you can put the camera over here, he's actually rotating his pelvis, okay? And that's how he's gonna be able to really contract that glute fiber, okay? And if you do have access to a plate or some type of foot wedge, you can also elevate your toes, and that'll make it a little bit easier for you to achieve hip extension, which is what Austin's in right now at the top of the movement, okay? Do not use momentum for this movement. Make sure you're completing the full range of motion. You do not need to touch your butt all the way down to the floor. You can stop way before that, and just make sure that you are activating those muscles properly and controlling the weight on the way down. And that's going to conclude this tutorial.